Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Hey, Val, no worries. No worries. Good to have you here today. Hey, Suki. I am, well, I got it over the weekend, so I have been beaming through the weekend, even through to today with you guys on your very nice words. Hey, Ayakame, how you doing? Hey, Suki. Hey, Spiros. Hey, BL. Good morning. Hi, Escanor. I hope I got it right. And Goju. And JMB has to have the special mention. The first one on the stream. Hi, AL. Good to see everyone here again. Just a quick reminder as well for everyone who is watching or will be watching. We will be having a session on Zoom later tonight, 8 p.m. GMT plus 8. The Zoom link is in the Discord community channel. So make sure you join the Discord channel so that you get the Zoom link so that you can jump onto the session tonight. What we'll be doing through the session tonight, ideally, we'd like to get everyone to turn on their videos, get to know everyone better, share your training experience, share your difficulties, if any. We hope to help you overcome those through your trading journey. And then towards the last part of it, I will be sharing with you because I need prices to move and develop a little bit. I'll be sharing with you some potential trade setups or scenario planning for the FOMC decision tonight. Okay, so as much as we'll go through it today or right now, it is still about 12 hours or just under 12 hours to the FOMC meeting. Prices can change quite a bit. Levels can be reached or tested before the news event, or would have moved on for what we discussed right now. So tonight's session will be an update, right, and a better scenario planning for the news event. So do make sure you join that session if you haven't already, indicated that you will be joining. I think so far we have 30 something people joining. The capacity is 100, so I'm looking to hit capacity. Okay. Thank you, Ayakame. Buba, the time for the Zoom meeting in GMT is 8 p.m. GMT plus 8. So I guess it's 12 o'clock. Hey, Minal, good to see you. All right, one more minute and we shall get started. Again, if you're new to the session, drop a message, say hi, let me know you're here, let me know where you're joining from. Always love to find out. And also, for the folks on YouTube, that's the Discord link. For the folks on TradingView, the Discord link is right at the bottom there. Please feel free to join. It is absolutely free to join and will be free to stay on. Okay. And if you haven't already, before we get started, click on that thumbs up button, click on that rocket ship button. Once you've done that, we will get started right now. Okay, so welcome again. Thank you for joining me on this daily market analysis. We do this 3 p.m. every day for 1 hour. If you want to take the discussions beyond this, make sure you join the trading community. During this session, what we look at are the fundamentals, the news that happened since the last time we spoke, which was yesterday, and what could be coming up, which we know for today we do have the FOMC meeting to be released as well. All right, we have quite a number of news to be released, all the way through to tomorrow. So we look at the fundamentals, we look at the technicals in terms of where price is, where it could head towards. Putting that together, we look at some possible trade setups. And as much as I can, I'll try and identify high likelihood trade setups, something that we can get into within or between today and tomorrow until the next time we speak. All right, so far it's been going well. We have many trades that have hit our take profit levels or come very close. Some trades might have hit stop loss. Some trades do not even trigger. Okay, so I do tend to try and identify safer levels of entry, just because I don't know when everyone is watching this video or when you'll be jumping to trades. So we're not looking for very time sensitive um, or super time sensitive levels. We're looking at something that we can enter at a reasonable time frame. Okay, so with that in mind, it's also important to go through the quick disclaimer is that any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. The contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, so please do your own due diligence and your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. I tend to, so on this point, just something to share is like for how I trade, I tend to enter the same lot sizes for every trade, right? For every trade, I tend to enter the same lot size unless it is a news event, right? Unless it is a news event, then I will tend to size down. Or if I come across a situation where it's highly speculative, and what I mean by highly speculative, it would be a counter trend scenario, okay? Because most of my trades, you would have noticed if you've been following me through the sessions, I do get onto very trend following trade setups. So what I consider as highly speculative is counter trend scenarios or in the news events, right? So those will be the times where I size down, right? I'll size down, possibly about half my usual trade size. But on all the other scenarios, I would be entering a trade at the same lot sizing. Okay, so it makes it easier to calculate risk. It makes it easier to consider leverage and the margins. And one thing is, I'm not putting particular, what do you say, expectations or extra confidence on a trade, because every trade that you get into the market or every trade you enter, I view it as it should be equal, right? If you view a trade that you have more confidence in, then if it goes against you, it's going to hit twice as hard, right? It's going to hit twice as hard because not only have you lost money, you would have lost confidence, right? That high confidence trade that you've entered would have lost money and lost confidence. Then it hits twice as hard. So I take every trade the same, right? Take every trade the same lot size, identical or similar setups, looking for that same move. If it goes against me, right, that's how the market is. But we know that based on what we've been doing, the percentage of it being triggered and moving towards a profitable level is quite high. Okay, so something to think about for you guys. Hey Nick, how are you doing? Good day. Hey Angel Case, good morning. Hi Insightful Views, good to have you here. Good morning. It is in the afternoon. It's a very rainy afternoon today here where I am. Hey Ola, good to see you. Are you splitting your lot size to take partial profits as TP1, TP2? Generally, when I look at a trade, I don't really do a TP1, TP2, right? So most of the time when my trades are made up mostly of short-term trades, right? Short-term trades where I'm in a trade, it makes, that 30, 40, 50 pips, I'm out of a trade. If it does run quite significantly to the upside or the downside, then I could move my stop loss, or I would at that point start thinking about whether I want to close out the trade. TP1, TP2 is only if overnight, I'm not watching a trend, overnight it swings massively, then I would consider, doing a TP1, TP2 level. Okay. I try not to meddle with the trades too much when it's running already. So it's either I close out, or most of the time, if I start to think about what to do with a trade, I'll tend to try and close it out. Okay, good question there, Buba. All right, so with that, let's keep going. So what did we have yesterday? We spoke about the Aussie cash rate. That's done already. Okay, that's good. We've done that. And then we had a whole bunch of PMI numbers. CPI numbers for the Eurozone came out as expected, no big surprise there. Governor Lowe from the RBA spoke at the RBA board dinner in Perth, my half hometown. So didn't move prices too much at that point. US JOLTS job openings went from a 9.97 to expected 9.74, came out at 9.59, right? Remember, we were talking about this yesterday. I was anticipating a bad news here on JOLTS. With that, at 10 o'clock, GMT plus 8, we actually saw the dollar index actually reversed strongly, right? It went up to 102 almost 102.40, and then because of the bad JOLTS, we actually saw it drop back down towards that 102 range, and we were expecting it to come down towards this 101.60 level. It's finally got there. Now at this point, it's going to be quite interesting. Okay, so I'm glad that it's come down to this support level. I'll take that away for now. Then back to the news again. Early this morning, 6:45 a.m., we had the Kiwi, right? We had the Kiwi. Remember, if you were on the session yesterday, I was looking at this this was 0.2, expected 0.5, 3.4, expected 3.5. I was sitting there going, it doesn't look like it'd be a 3.5. I was thinking it'd be a 3.4, and I thought that employment change could be quite good. True enough, came out at 6:40. I wasn't trading this at that time. I was deep asleep. Came out at 0.8% for employment change and 3.4% on the unemployment rate. And what we actually saw this morning was that push to the upside, right? 6 a.m. was here. Zoom in a little bit. Right, so we saw it climb up and then actually push up. It went breaking above that resistance level of 0.6225, pushed up a little bit higher, and then now retracing back down. Okay, hey Desiree, good to see you. How are you doing? Right, I am looking at a possible rebound from this level back up, but we'll get into more details on that later on, depending on what the dollar index does. So that's the Kiwi with the employment numbers. We have Japan on a bank holiday today. It is Constitution Day. Okay, not sure why. Governor Orr from the RBNZ speaking about financial stability report. I think it wasn't a big price mover at that point. And then tonight, we do have 8:15 p.m., the ADP non-farm employment change number. Not expecting a big change here. 145 previous, 148 expected. I think that we could see maybe a 140, just a slightly lower number. I don't think it'd be a big drop. I don't think it'd be a big fluctuation in any direction. I think it'd be around this range. And then ISM services PMI likely to stay above in that 50 region, above that 50 region, was 51.2, expected 51.8, likely to be maybe 52, I would say maybe about 52, right? So, but these are not going to be the big price movers tonight. In fact, if you are watching the ADP non-farm number, we'll be looking at it. We could be looking at it live together during our Zoom session as it gets released. I'm not anticipating a big price movement here because what we have later on at 2 a.m. GMT plus 8 is the US Fed funds rate decision. And you can see they are looking to take interest rates in the US from a 5% to a 5.25%. A 25 basis point rate hike to come from the Fed Reserve. However, it is not so much the percentage or the rate decision that's going to affect prices or price movement or volatility of prices is most likely going to be the statement, right? And also the press conference. So I will be watching. I will be trading during this time, 2 a.m. If you don't want to be disturbed, make sure you turn off notifications on your Discord. But I will be looking at some updates or hoping to put some updates through there. Okay, the question right now for this news event is this the final rate hike? Right? Is this the final rate hike? Are they going to pause? Are they going to pivot? They're definitely going to hike this time, but are they going to pause and pivot? Okay, so that's the question. That's what will be covered during the press conference and also during the statement to get a tone or to sense a tone from the FOMC. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking at 2 a.m. and also at 2:30 a.m. tonight, right, or tomorrow morning. Question there from Desiree is that do we need to be concerned with the debt ceiling? You know, the first few times since I've been trading, the first few times they talked about the debt ceiling, I was super concerned. I was watching it. I was, worried, thinking about everything, reading everything, and then they extended the debt ceiling. They extended debt ceiling. Then the next time they did that, I think the next time they did that, they extended debt ceiling again. One more time they did that, they didn't extend the debt ceiling, and they had a U.S. government shutdown for, I don't remember, like a week or 2 weeks, something like that, right? They had a small shutdown, extended debt ceiling after that, and then it carried on again. I think that what is likely to happen during this FOMC press conference tonight is there will be questions coming from the media to Chair Powell about the debt ceiling. And I think his answer will be along the lines of that's for Treasury to decide, that's for Congress to decide. There's not really a monetary policy decision for the FOMC. It's more a fiscal policy that needs to be decided by Treasury and Congress. I think he's just going to brush it off a bit like that, right? Similar to, I think, what BL was asking in the community, whether the banking crisis is going to be a factor that's going to factor into this news event. The last time they spoke about this was, banking structures are safe and sound. The main concern for the FOMC is on interest rates and inflation. So I think they're going to brush away all the other factors and hone down onto interest rates and inflation, especially during this news event. Okay, so hope I answered your question there in terms of the debt ceiling and also the potential banking crisis, or the overcoming of the banking crisis. Overcoming, it's never overcame until it is, really. Good to see you. Good that you can join us, Desiree. Buba with the question, can you please highlight on how you draw support and resistance levels? Buba, what I'll do, I won't do it during this session. We can do a session, right? We do have short educational videos, so we can do a session on support and resistance levels. Okay, so I'll do that the next time round. Could be maybe tomorrow or the day after. We'll see how we come along with that. I do need to create the content for you guys first. Okay, so Puba, if I don't get to it by next week, remind me again. Hi Diana, good to see you here. Good morning, Didar Farouk. Good to see you. Okay, so that's the news all the way to tomorrow morning. And then we have the ECB, which I'll tell you more about tomorrow as we speak. Hey, Signal Mark, good morning. All right, so now looking at the dollar index, look at it. It's been dropping. I'll take this away. This yellow box is really important, but it gets really in the way. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it is dropping. Why it's dropping, right? It's really because of how everything else is moving. It's not so much that it's dollar weakness right now, it's all the other currency pairs. I'll show you. Um, the Aussie finding a bit of a support, the yen dropping a little bit or staying right there, the euro dollar pushing up. I hope you guys got into this trade. The pound dollar pushing up, looking like it might trigger to the upside. The Swiss franc, big drop driven by the dollar index. The CAD right now retracing a little bit. Okay, so dollar index dropping. Well done, Diana. In the a little bit early in the pound, but I think it could work out quite nicely. With the way it's dropping right now at 101.60, what needs to happen is for price to break below this support level. Okay, I'll take this away for now. It does need to break below this support level. If I look at this, right, you can see that it's at that 61.8 level, which needs to be broken first. Okay, that makes sense. That needs to be broken. If that breaks, then we could see it come down towards that 100.80 level. Could come down towards 100.80 with some hesitation along 101.25. Okay, I like that view. So I think that, all right, it does need to break below this point, so it needs to close below 101.60. Could come down towards I would say 101 as a round number, right? The previous swing, and it's not that much difference from here to that support level. I think we could see it drop towards 101. Suki caught the gold trade yesterday. Very happy. I'm very happy for you as well. Good job. Um, okay, I'll sort that out as Kano. I have no idea what I'm doing on Discord. I will figure stuff out as we go along. Okay. So dollar index, I think that, and I'm pretty sure we'll update this maybe later on tonight as well. 3rd of May, the dollar index needs to break below 101.60, no, 101.55 to trade down to 101. There we go. When it closed in the H1 candle, we will consider it as a valid break. I would need it to close below 101.55. So not right now. I need it to close, trade down a little bit more before I will consider a valid break. Okay, but we can most likely we'll be looking at this as it happens as we get to 4 o'clock when the candle closes. So that's the view on the dollar index for it to drop for further downside. I'm wary about about trying to anticipate significant downside, because we are looking at a potential rate hike to come from the Feds. We are looking at a possible talk about pausing or pivot on their decision. And you can also see that if I went to the H4 time frame, the last time it came down to this 100.80 level was in Feb, and also in April. Once it touched this level, we saw a big strong bounce to the upside. Beyond that, take that away for now. Beyond that was in April last year at below 100, where we saw it touch and bounce back up as well. Okay, so because of, I lost my, hang on. So because of that, I'll be a bit careful to think that it's going to break What's happening to my chart? Hang on. Okay. So because of that, I'll be a bit careful to expect it to trade all the way down and break that support level, with the next one at just under 100. I think that we could see it come down here. Maybe tonight we'll see it bounce back up again. I'll update you guys later on. So that's the dollar index um, short-term move or for today. Okay, looking at the Kiwi dollar, this view still maintains. It shot up. I'll take this away for now. It shot up. It came retraced back down, tested this resistance, now turned support level. Are you in the NU trade, as I reckon I see now? No, I'm not in the Kiwi trade anymore. I'm not in the Kiwi trade. It broke up. I did a quick scalp. I tend to try and go flat when I'm on the session. If not, I'll be checking my MT4 here and I'll be talking to you guys and it'll be all over the place. All right. Looking at this, and also if I do tend to have a position, I might get a little bit biased with what I analyze. So I try to remain flat. Okay, so looking at the Kiwi dollar, it could retrace down to the support level or slightly below and bounce back up. I think that would be healthy for the move to the upside. It's already tested right now. So what you could be looking for is a long position, 0.6245. 0.6245. I would say I don't think you'll move that much. Okay, so I'm extra wary about trying to look for too many trade setups today, just because I think it's going to consolidate a little bit with the FOMC to be released. I think it'd be fair about there. So, I'll say a 20 pip stop loss, a 40 pip take profit level. We might see some hesitation at close to that 20. At a 1:1, we might see some hesitation. But I think with 40 pips, with that bit of a order block kind of thing there happening, would make sense. Okay, so Kiwi dollar, we'll be looking to buy above 6245, 20 pip stop loss, 40 pip take profit, 6245. So it's a very similar view to what we had yesterday for that upside on the Kiwi dollar. Okay, but it does need to bounce off this support. I want to see a move like that. Before we're going to see that upside. Okay? If it's all good, let me know. Put it into the chat. Next up, Aussie dollar. This was a little bit disappointing from yesterday. The resistance level held very strong, right? So we were looking at this one bounce, two bounce, and three bounce, and they actually retraced back down. So a little bit disappointed that despite the RBA's surprise rate hike, we didn't see a sustained move to the upside on the Aussie dollar. It actually shot up from 6630 up to 671 or 6720, and then it's retraced back down. So that trade didn't happen, didn't trigger. We'll take that away. Right now, the Aussie dollar is consolidating. Look at it forming that rectangle, right? Forming that area right on that 0.6666 level. Terrible number, right? 0.6666 level. And it's consolidating. Not worth doing anything at this point for the Aussie. Because if you will be looking to buy it up, right? If you're looking to buy it up, you have a 28 pip to the resistance. You would have a, at best 20 something pip stop loss, or reasonable on 40 pips, terrible risk to reward. On the flip side, if you were looking to sell down, then 20 pips at the best, again, bad risk to reward. So I'll say hands off on the Aussie dollar. Don't do anything. Just sit and watch. Hands off. Sit and watch. Right? It's not likely. I don't think it's going to form any clear directional bias yet, especially if the FOMC to be released. I think it's going to consolidate along this level, and then whatever the FOMC does, we're going to see that reaction. Buba asks a question: can I utilize buy limit at that support on Kiwi? You definitely can. I'm not sure whether, because you see it's already tested slightly, right? So I'm not sure whether it's going to test further before bouncing, or it's just going to go from here straight up. Okay, so you can consider a buy limit. Might run the risk of it not triggering and just pushing straight up. All right, I did get into the yen on this pair, so didn't break up. Remember, we're talking about yen potential counter trend trade. So it didn't break above that 138 resistance level. Very important. That's another reason why it's so important to have your resistance levels, support and resistance levels. Didn't break above, hit that level and turn back down. So I did get into a quick trade here, selling it down. Right now, bouncing back up a little bit. Okay, so we were talking about this earlier today during the in the community, right? Where I think this morning we came on and we're looking at price at that 136 level, and I said, wait a minute, don't do anything on the yen unless it breaks below 136. Right, it needs to break below 136 before we could see 135. So what happened? It actually came down slightly. I'll zoom in a bit so you see. Right, so I'll put in the line here at 136. Okay, so that's a line there, 136 as a round number support level. It broke slightly, not very convincing. Now it's pushing back up. I do think that looking at the way the dollar index seems to be moving, it is bouncing a little bit at the support level. It could bounce and then after continue back down. So this might, let's see. Did it get to 50? It got to about 50. So it came very close. So it's broken that 38.2, which is that 136 level. I think what we might see is, hey, Gobi, good to see you here. I think we might see this, or rather I'm looking for this, right? A bit of a rebound, right? A test again of this level of 136 before turning down to 135, especially if the dollar index continues to push to the downside. So what you could be looking for here is a selling opportunity. Let's be a bit safer and say 135.80, tight stop at about 30 to 40 pips. Right, 30 to 40 pips. A take profit of 70 would be reasonable. Right, so look for it to bounce up, turn back down. You could look to get in a little bit earlier if you're more risk taking, or if it does break below 135.80, then you can look to sell down. Okay. So very happy for my yen trade there. US yen sell below 135.80. Stop loss what was it? 40 and take profit of 75. How about that? Stop loss of 40, take profit of 75. There we go. Okay, I'll be happy with that. All right. Again, if you have any questions, any particular pairs you want me to look at, put it into the chat. Let me know. If you haven't already, do help me out. Click that rocket ship and that thumbs up button. Pound, a dollar. I know Suki said, oh no, Diana said that she's in the pound dollar trade. It's running very nicely right now. So good job there, Diana. It is pushing up, right? This was the view that we had from yesterday, still continuing on. I would say that, looking for this to push up, continue to the upside towards that resistance level of 1.2580. Still maintains. You can see if I drag this right across that big upward trend line, still holding prices up. The short-term one can take away. So if you're in a trade, great. I think it's going up. If you're not in a trade, you might want to look for a bit of a retrace. I'm not. Why I'm hesitating is I'm not particularly sure it's going to retrace. Yeah, I think it might retrace a little bit. See, it's outside of Bollinger on the M15 time frame, so I think it might retrace a little bit before pushing back up. So I think that for now, you could be looking to buy if it comes down, test 1.2515. Stop loss could go for 20 pips. Stop, take profit about 60, 66 pips to the upside. Okay. In terms of possible hesitation, 61.8 is there, but I think it will, if it does push up, it will break through that, no problem. Very nice, Val, as well. Good job. On the pound dollar, is it better to wait for retracement? I think so. I think it is better to wait for a retracement. Entered before the break. Yes, that was very good. I think it's going to come back down a little bit. I'm not particularly sure that it will come back down towards 1.25. I think it'll come down slightly before pushing back up. Okay. Yep, I got your question on the Euro Aussie. I'll get to that. Easy trading FX. We'll get to that. Let me get through my majors first. So that's my pound dollar. A 1.2515. Say 1.2515. Stop loss 22, 20 pips, 60 pips. Okay. Buy above 1.2515, stop loss 20, take profit 60. Alrighty. Then next up, Euro dollar. Yeah, look, it's retracing a little bit right now. Okay, I would say that on the close of the hour might be a good scenario to look to buy. Not right now, but on the close of the hour. Euro dollar performing very nicely. I do know many of you who did get onto the euro dollar on the upward move. So it came down. We were saying aggressive entry. As it breaks back up, we can look to buy up. Safer one would be for it to push up from this point. So either way, if you did get into the euro dollar, let me know. You should be super happy. I'll be happy for you too. Okay, Ayakame, I will get to gold and oil. And also, yeah, so Euro, Aussie, gold, and oil. We'll get there. Right now, Euro dollar approaching this 61.8 level. All right, I'll take these away because it's not valid anymore. It's broken back up. Okay, let me just have a look. There we go. Right now, euro dollar is approaching that 61.8 fib retracement level, which is at 1.1045. If it does break above, then we could see it climb towards 1.1085. I think that this, I would rather save this for a trade tonight, because if you're looking to buy it up from here, 30 pips, take profit, it could, I'm not going to list this as a setup, but this could be a trade that you would want to get. You could look in getting into. If it breaks above that 61.8, 30 pip upwards, then your stop loss could be, 15 pips or 20 pips or even 30 pips or 1 is to 1 to the upside, right? But I wouldn't list this right now. For me, I would rather see what happens at this level, right? I want to see what happens at this level because it rejected once before, just last week. I want to see it break, hit that resistance level. Then I think it'd be a great setup for tonight for the FOMC later on. Okay, so I'll rather wait for a reaction at that point or plan for a trade at that point. Good morning, Jamil. How are you doing? I'm doing very well. As Val would say, I'm beaming. Okay, euro dollar, I would say wait, could climb, well, likely to climb higher. Wait for reaction at resistance. Okay, good stuff. Now, next up, Swiss franc, the Swissy. A bit, this pains me a bit to say that, and I have actually been making some good analysis on the US Swiss franc, but it still hasn't made it high into my watch list yet. So it's not a pair that I trade, but I do analyze it for you guys. Very nice trade we had here yesterday. It did come up. So we're talking about this, testing that resistance, turning back down. It did that exactly to the T, right? It tested that level and came straight down to hit take profit. Not a trade I got into, but if you did get into this trade, let me know. Okay, let me know. Now that it's gone down and broken that support level of 0.8912, right? I like it because it was breaking that, testing that resistance. Now it's broken that support level. A likely that it's going to see how this equal low here is forming. I think it might rebound this way. Okay, I think it might rebound, test that support turned resistance level and turn back down. Good. Well done, Ola. Took the Swiss franc. Ola took the Swiss franc and made some money on it. Fantastic. Good job. I hope more people did that as well. Okay. So I would be, I would like to say that it's going to test up and turn down, but it could also just go straight down. All right. We'll come back to this. I want to see. I think no. I think it's going to come back up. Okay, so I think it's going to come back up. We're looking for a sell at about 0.89. So at about 0.8905, take profit, 40 pips, stop loss tight, at 15 pips. 15 to 20 pips would be a reasonable stop loss there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So 0.8905, 15 pip stop loss, 40 pip take profit. So look at that, that was perfect. Below the 0.8905, stop loss, 15, take profit, 40. Was it 40? Yes. Yeah, looking for this to rebound up now. Go. Cool. Fantastic. Diana, if that is a byproduct of what I'm sharing with you guys here, I would love for that to happen, without a doubt. But at least I know that with what I'm sharing here, at least I know we'll help each other trade better, keep everyone accountable, trade for the longer term. It's a long term thing. The longer term you can trade for, the more profitable you're going to be. Okay. So, just look for good setups. Don't think about the dollar signs. Dollar signs are important, but don't think about it too much. Look for the good setups. The dollar signs will come. Um, yeah, if this just goes straight down, then it's not going to be worth getting into because you're looking at a 1:1. I'm only looking for it to rebound before selling down as a good setup. Okay. Then the US CAD, I did this. I got this trade as it bounced, right? We saw it bounce off this support level, very crucially bouncing off that support level, breaking above that near term high. We had a good trade to the upside. I got out at about that point, somewhere there, as it was a outside of, yeah, right about there. As it was outside of Bollinger, I went right outside Bollinger, late enough in the night, I'm out. Okay, so I had a good trade there on the CAD. I know a couple of you did get onto the CAD as well. Signal marks, I have to go. No worries, Signal mark. We'll catch you again. Do join the channel. Watch the ideas later for sure. All right. Now, US CAD right in the middle there. I would say that I wouldn't do anything on the right. Crude oil punish ahead of Fed. Gold WTI push lower. It's right in the middle again, so I wouldn't do anything. I think that the CAD is likely to push up one more time. All right, it could do this, but it's right in that level where anything could happen. So it is going to be a do nothing on the CAD. Do nothing for now on the CAD. Okay. Again, as you would probably get a sense, a little bit different in terms of how I am going through the session today, just because we have the FOMC coming up. This again makes it super important for the session tonight. I think that as price move and develops, um, we're going to get better trading scenarios or possible setups as we see how price reacts over the next couple of hours. Okay, so if you can, do make sure you join that session. So I'll sit there and wait on that. Thank you, Diana. I really appreciate that. Looking at gold, right? So we were saying test this level, bounce back up. It did more than that. It broke above 2000, went straight up. So I did a couple of trades here to the upside on my prop account. Okay, so that's still going. When it broke above that 2000 level, I just went like, right, I'm just going to be extra careful because last time it broke over this trend line, we saw a big sharp retrace. So I didn't manage to catch the full move, right? But I did catch that upward move as it bounced off this lower trend line. So now that it is trading at 2014, previous high of 2019.60, likely to consolidate there with the dollar finding some support right there at 101.60. Still looking for that break, but it's finding a bit of support there. I think we could see gold again retracing before pushing back up. I would like to, especially in terms of a easy trade, right? I would like to see a similar move like that, given that it's going to bring it very close to that. Wait, what was it? Right, so this was yesterday's move. right? If we just repeated yesterday's move, it's going to bring us back to that recent high of 2046. So that would be interesting. So I think that if we have that, given that it's broken already, can still form a bit of a support level. So it could come down, test the support, and break up towards 2046. Needs to break above 2020 first. Okay, needs to break above 2020 first because that's where that 61.8 level is. Right? 61.8 level is. So it needs to break. So that's why it came up, hit this level, and looks like it's retracing. It's because of that longer term Fibonacci level, retracement level. So I think it could retrace, and then retrace, close up a bit of that gap, and then push back up again. Right? So gold, I would say upside only after price breaks above 2020. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Does that make sense? All good? Let me know if it makes sense to you guys. And then we'll look at the Euro Aussie. Where was it? Okay, Euro Aussie. Take that away. That went down from way back. We were talking about it. Thank you, Suki. Thanks, Ola. Strong downward push on the Euro Aussie because of that Aussie strength yesterday. Found a support at that 1.64 level, bouncing up, looking like it's going to break. Needs to break above 1.6573. Well, let me just do this. Just too many lines right now. Okay, so we have a point there. We have a big resistance there. And right in the middle, we have about a point there as well. Right, just catching those areas. So I would say that further upside, yes, needs to break above 1.66. Needs to break above 1.66. Currently at 1.6563, so it needs to break above 1.66 before we could see it climb up towards 1.6760. Why it would push up would be either because of the euro dollar strength pushing it up, so it doesn't need to break above 61.8, or Aussie dollar weakness pushing down, could see the euro Aussie pushing to the upside. So in terms of correlation, in terms of how inter-price correlation does work towards the favor of the euro Aussie pushing towards the upside. Okay, hope I answered your question there. Easy trading FX. And then oil. Oil, big drop to the downside. Oil adds to sharp loss on growth worries, recessionary talk again, right? So US banks has revived concerns about the economy, recessionary concerns, fresh fundamentals, sell-off, and it's oil demand. So how do I get rid of this? Okay. Now with WTI, I would say that this will change. This could change very quickly. I'll just pre-warn you that because of the meeting tonight. support level there, breaking, so it's about that point, right? So I got one here, and a bit of this levels here. So it is breaking that support, and then I would have an interim level at about 6, a couple of levels here, right? A couple of levels here to be concerned about. So looking at this on oil, I do anticipate further downside, but there are a few levels to consider. So it needs to break below this 7-1 round number support level, it needs to close below. Further downside, next level at 6.9, next level at almost 6.7, and then next level at 6.5. Okay, so still looking at the downside move because of the increasing recessionary fear, especially with the US likely to increase rates again. Lesser demand going to push oil to the downside. Okay, so I hope I answered your question there, Ayakame, for oil and gold. Good stuff. And then Kiwi CAD. Where's my Kiwi CAD? I don't have Kiwi. Okay, Kiwi CAD. Kiwi CAD is going to. I was doing this, looking for that breakout. Kiwi CAD is likely to. Well, look at how the Kiwi dollar is doing. Looking like it's going to come down a little bit and bounce. So we might see some. It's coming to that really important point. If it breaks below, then it'd be terrible. But if it bounces up, some strength on the Kiwi. The CAD pushing up, possibly some weakness on the CAD. So on the Kiwi CAD, I would say that strength on the Kiwi could push this up, weakness on the CAD could push this up, looking like it's going to push it to the upside. I just don't like how choppy it's been here. So I would say that you could be looking. I mean, we know that we're looking for this to push up. Okay, you could be looking for a support level. I don't like these levels. Let me just take all this away. It's been too long since we had these levels. So we have a point there. And resistance. And no worries, Ayakami. I'm happy that you're happy. And another level about here. And then the next one up here. Okay, so based on this, we're looking for this to push up towards that resistance of 8546. The next one at 86. Okay, so I can't find where I can't find a good entry level. I think that with the way it's moving, you would probably it's right in the middle now. I am looking for it to push up, or I would be looking for it to push up. Maybe if it breaks above 0.85, you could be looking for a long to the upside 40 pips, tight stop loss 20 pips. Why I'm struggling a little bit is just because it's right in the middle of that zone. Okay, so I hope I answered your question there, Buba, on the Kiwi CAD. And then the US 100 as the last. Where's my US 100? I don't have US 100. I'm pretty sure I had US 100. Where was it? Okay. There's two economic events for US PMI ADP that may take gold lower to 2006 levels, 70% chance. I don't think that the PMI or ADP number is going to move prices too much, primarily because we do have the FOMC to be released later tonight. So, yeah, typically it would or does have some chance, but for today, I don't think so. And also because um, ADP, not a big change expected. PMI, it's came down from 55 to 51. I don't see it climbing up too much. I think it might be at about 52. So I don't think it's going to, have a big shock to push prices um, too much, push the dollar too much, and then gold as well. Okay, the bigger volatility is going to come tonight from the FOMC. So on US 100, came down, retracing back up. Dollar weakness is likely to push this to the upside there. I think this will be a fair view. Straightforward. This is relatively straightforward. I think that it's going to consolidate along this level and then push up towards that 13,273 resistance level. Okay, Minal, I hope I answered your question there. So, with all that said, please remember with a news event in particular, if you are, hey, and actually put it into the chat, are you going to be trading the FOMC tonight? Are you? If you are going to be trading the FOMC tonight, please remember it's not always that you have to enter a trade when there is a news event. There are situations where, you know, it's 2 a.m. for me. I'm sitting there at 2 a.m. I'm sitting at 2:30 a.m. Listening to Jerome Powell speak, listening to the media speak or ask questions, and it's gone to 3 o'clock. It's gone to 3:30 a.m. and I'm not entered the trade. I've not entered a trade, right? So it's not always the case where you have to sit there at a news event and bang out trades left, right, and center. There are times where you're not going to enter a trade. So please remember, trade well, trade safe. I'll see you all tonight during our Zoom session. Please remember to let me know that you're attending, just so I know when to, how many people to expect. If you haven't already, do join the trading community right there on Discord. So for now, I'll catch you all later. Take care now. Bye bye.